In competitive sports, doping refers to the use of banned performance-enhancing drugs by athletic competitors. The term doping is widely used by organizations that regulate sporting competitions. The use of drugs to enhance performance is considered unethical and therefore prohibited by internal sport organizations. The World Anti-Doping Agency implements a code for these internal organizations to follow. These include the International Olympic Committee and the Australian Sports Anti-Doping Authority. So why exactly do athletes dope? Athletes dope with the expectation of not being caught. In doing so, this gives them the best possible opportunity to come first, recover faster, and be a better athlete. Outside pressure to succeed also has an impact on athletes. Pressure can come from coaching staff, family, and fans. Recently, state-sanctioned doping has become popular. In Russia, at least 118 athletes were banned from the Rio Olympics and their entire team from the Paralympics due to state-sanctioned doping. This shows that athletes may not always have a choice in taking performance-enhancing drugs. I went out onto the street to ask the public exactly how they feel about doping in sports. This is what they had to say.
How do you feel about athletes that take performance-enhancing drugs?
I think they're cheats and they're undeserving of any sort of medals or anything like that. And if they're caught, they should get into trouble.
So how do you feel about athletes taking performance-enhancing drugs in sport?
Obviously, I think they're cheats and it shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be happening. And if they get banned from any sports for doing it, then yeah, fair enough.
So how do you feel about athletes that take performance-enhancing drugs in sport?
I don't think it's a good idea because it promotes a very bad image to younger students that are trying to get into sports. A lot of older athletes are role models, especially in major sporting like the Olympics. So I think that's just it's a bad image to have.
So how do you feel about athletes that take performance-enhancing drugs?
Well, it really depends on the sport, so using Lance Armstrong as an example, where I'd say that a lot of other people are doping, he had cancer, he still won, he deserved to win. It's absolutely fine.
So how do you feel about athletes that take performance-enhancing drugs in sport?
I think it really hinders the sports and it makes it more about the companies who produce the drugs rather than the athletes.
Overall, it has been shown exactly what doping is and that there are a number of different reasons for athletes to take performance-enhancing drugs. Although it is considered unethical to take a drug, as shown by talking to the public, not all people agree with this. There are people who believe that there are certain circumstances where it is completely ethical for an athlete to take a performance-enhancing drug. Doping is still an extremely relevant problem and has been emphasized at the Rio Olympics this year.